Consider this, you've just finished the game, so what do you do now? Well, you could start your way through your backlog, replay a game you haven't played in a while, actually do something productive, or challenge runs are a perfect way to re-experience a game under new conditions, massively adding to the replay value. Sometimes you've just got to accept you don't have all the money to constantly buy new games. Some of the most popular challenge runs include Pokemon Nuzlocke, Damageless runs, and Pacifist runs. Now recently I played through Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and just before reaching 106%, I realised something. Every single stage has so many boxes to break, and I wonder, how many boxes do you need to break? Can you beat the Crash Bandicoot 4 minimum box challenge? Now the rules for this one are relatively simple. The amount of boxes broken within a level will be counted from the convenient box count at the end of the level. One small note to make before this one begins is that I will be doing this on the Nintendo Switch version of the game, which will be relevant later. Our first level is Rude Awakening, and it's a great introduction into the moves that we will be using for the majority of our journey. You can run, jump, slide, spin, and slide jump. All of the boxes in the opening section are relatively easy to dodge until we reach this wall. This wall of boxes seems impossible to pass without breaking a box, and it would be, if not for something I've neglected to mention up until now, the double jump. If you align yourself up against the center of the crates, hold forward and double jump, you should get over them without breaking a crate. Now that's over and done with, we immediately meet our next challenge, the grind rail. But before that, an obvious but important note to make. Checkpoint crates are crates, meaning that if we die, we go back to the start of the level. There are two exceptions to this, being specific sections where a cutscene will play, creating a box-free checkpoint. Also, any bonus platforms will count as a checkpoint, requiring 0 boxes broken. Now, back to the rail grinding. Rail grinding is a new mechanic in Crash Bandicoot 4, and they just love to cover these rails with undodgeable boxes. Our moveset on them is limited, only allowing us to jump, switch from top to bottom, and swing left to right for a short period of time. Luckily enough, our first encounter with them requires no boxes to be broken. With usage of swinging around the bottom of the rail, we can dodge the boxes and continue on with the level. From this point, there are no major roadblocks stopping us for the rest of the level, allowing us to beat Rude Awakening with a total of 0 boxes broken. One level down, a lot to go. Next up is an Insanity Peak, a relatively simple level. The first half poses no real challenge, only introducing us to the new rope steering mechanic. However, after awakening Lani Loli, we encounter the Guardian and are forced into a chase section. These chase sections are the worst sections in the entire game. Not because they are hard, but because whatever is chasing you will break boxes, adding them to the total. No matter what I tried, there was no way to skip these boxes. Meaning, while we didn't break any boxes, a total of 34 boxes were broken, adding our first boxes to the total. At this point, we unlock the ability to play as Coco, who has the exact same moveset as Crash, so she neither helps nor hinders our journey. We move on to the next set of levels, which fortunately are low on mandatory boxes. A real grind has some boxes over grind rail jumps. However, with some precise hanging and swinging, we can dodge every other box, leaving us with only 2 additional boxes to add to the total. Similar to the last level, Crash Compactor has a mandatory grind rail jump box, with all other boxes being dodged to add 1 box to our counter. So you remember how a couple levels ago we had a chase section? Yeah, so Hit the Road decided to copy that idea, put Crash Bandicoot in a bowl, and place even more boxes. Luckily, it also copied the fact that there are no boxes you need to break before the chase section. But we still have to add 64 boxes to the total because of this dumb mechanic which forces boxes to be broken. Moving on to our next level, we encounter our first boss fight in Stage Dive. Nothing really notable happens here due to the fact that all bosses in the game have no boxes in their boss fights. Unsurprisingly, this means no boxes have to be broken, and we can defeat Engine, leaving the fight with no additional boxes. Spinning along into the salty wharf dimension, we encounter Booty Coast, a pretty simple level. Now this level teaches us how we can spin on rails to break boxes. Spinning on rails and breaking boxes is a bad idea. However, it may come in handy later. Besides from the mandatory box from the grind rail section, we finish this level quickly and move on to hook, line and sinker. This level is our introduction to one of Crash 4's new features, multiple playable characters. Coco doesn't count, she's a reskin. Making her playable platformer debut, Torna jumps into action to rescue her fellow bandicoots. Now, this Torna comes from an alternate dimension and has a unique moveset. Her main special move is her hook shot, allowing her to zoom across the stage and get boxes which are usually out of reach. We should not be using this feature to get boxes which are usually out of reach. They can stay there. Now we start the level, progress a bit, and meet a roadblock. These crates require being slammed on to break, and they are our only way forward. I tried jumping around, I tried everything I could, but these crates have to be broken. After a lot of experimenting, I discovered that with precise spacing and movement, you can get through with breaking only one box. Later on in the level, we encounter more mandatory lock crates, and although I tried to see if you could pass with only a few boxes, the best I could do was 4 broken. Reaching the end of the level, we encounter a checkpoint crate. Should be easy, we just jump over it. Okay, let's try it again. We jump over it. Without breaking, we just jump. For some reason, we can't jump over this crate. It's like God just decides, yeah, this crate, it's being broken. Fuck you. This is the only crate in the game which works like this. Every other crate like this, we can just jump over. But sadly, we have to add another box to our total, exiting hook, line and sinker with 6 additional boxes broken. Jetboard Jetty introduces a new mechanic, being the level's titular jetboard. The jetboard is also the main problem within this level, presenting thin passageways filled with boxes. For this reason, we must utilize a new technique, death abuse. Whenever you die a lot, the game will feel pity and gift you a free Aku Aku mask. Utilizing this mask, we can damage boost to dodge a box. Also, for some random reason, whenever you pass this area, a box is broken off screen, and I couldn't figure out why. Adding on 1 additional mandatory box, a quick defeat of the only mid-level boss, Louise, and we leave with 2 boxes. We have now gained access to the next mask, Akano. His ability grants us the power to glide through the air and break locked crates, something we will try and avoid doing. Aside from a couple mandatory boxes, the level is very easy with careful usage of gliding, making for a relaxing break after the jetboard controls. We exit this level only adding 5 boxes to the total. Dragon On is a very interesting level due to it containing one of the coloured gems, specifically the blue coloured gem. Now you may be wondering, how do you get this gem? Well, you get it by beating the level without breaking any boxes. Therefore, this is an easy no box clear. Immediately afterwards, we are met with Off Balance, a slightly more challenging but still relatively easy no box clear. This streak continues on into our second boss fight, where we break a total of 0 out of 0 boxes. Unluckily, Offbeat is the return of the grind rail sections. There were some tight spots within this level, but no boxes were required until the grind rail section. Through thorough testing, I was able to conquer this level with only 16 boxes broken, utilizing spinning into enemies to dodge some boxes. Home Cooking introduces us to Dingo Daro, our third playable character. He can spin, jump, hover and suck with his vacuum. You may have also noticed that this level has the highest box count so far. We are required to use Aku Aku damage strats to stop this enemy destroying some crates at the beginning section of the level and make some careful jumps around these flying enemies, but somehow we are able to beat the stage with 0 boxes broken. Now we may have been on a relatively good streak of low box count recently. It's too bad that Run It By You ruins that by reintroducing jetboard sections. Weirdly though, with some clever ramp jumps and movement, they pose no problem. The real problem is the Dingo Diner boat. This section requires that TNT crates are broken. We can utilize some clever jumps to dodge some boxes, but are still left with 34 boxes broken. Also, remember how I said that the Switch version would be relevant? Well, this level is why. On other versions of the game, it is possible to skip this section with a speedrunning strat. However, it has been patched out alongside the Switch release, and therefore it is possible to beat the level with 0 boxes broken. However, it is not possible for me to do so due to the Switch version being the only version I have available. We are now given access to Kapunawa, the last of the quantum masks. Her ability is the power to slow down time, which allows for more unique platforming and the ability to cross nitro crates. Snow Way Out, Capunowa's introduction level, is unique in that it is the only quantum mask intro level to require no boxes. Aside from that, it's an easy clear. Stay Frosty is just not as kind, requiring one box to be broken due to a grind rail. Bears repeating, everyone's favourite level. Now, you may be thinking, it's difficult enough to hit the boxes with the polar bear usually, and you'll be right, the polar bear section is fine. But what comes directly before that, I may ask? A stack of mandatory nitro crates. While there is a total of 51 boxes, thanks to activating a cutscene, only 45 of them were broken, although that's way more than I would have liked. Cortex is easily defeated without a single crate in sight, and we move on to the past. You may have noticed by now my distaste of grind rail sections, and this continues with Blast to the Past. Even though it only requires 8 boxes broken, all of them are only due to the grind rails. Fossil Fueled gives us our final playable character, Dr. Neo Cortex. He can jump, shoot, and dash forwards. His gameplay is a lot slower and more methodical than Crash's. With smart usage of box jumps, we can dodge a large section, and it'll only stop one more time with this row of boxes. 2 boxes have been broken, and we move on to Dino Dash. I have 3 words for this level. Fuck the Dino. The Dino breaks 47 boxes, and that's all I want to say about this level. Out for Launch introduces the last mechanic, wall running. Guess what it lets us do? This level contains sections where it appears as if the boxes on the wall need to be broken. However, we can simply jump around them. 10 boxes need to be broken due to grind rails, but that is all for the level. Stowing Away is a mostly 2D cramped platforming level. There are boxes which we need to break to even get out of the starting area. We can dodge this box through careful timed jumping, and in total 12 boxes are broken to complete this level. We crash down onto Crash Landed, a level where the animal riding section returns. A level where the player breaks 0 boxes. Is a level where enemies break 0 boxes. However, there are TNT boxes placed which automatically explode. 3 of them to be precise, and so 3 boxes get added to the total. There really isn't anything interesting to say about the bosses anymore, aside from this. On to the final stretch. Food Run is a heavily mask-focused level. The flying TNT enemies from Dingodile stage returns, adding 21 boxes to our total. There is also an Arcano section, which with precise timing only requires 2 boxes to be broken. Therefore, we leave adding 23 boxes to our total. Remember Torno and Dingodile and how they had relatively low box breakage requirements? Well, even though Rush Hour is the longest level in the game, making it incredibly frustrating to die, having 1 checkpoint when you change characters, only 3 TNT boxes are broken, thanks to the flying enemies during the Dingodile section. This is also the first and only level with grind rails without having the mandatory boxes. The Great Escape is our final Cortex level, having 2 TNT enemies during the Cortex section. Then, of course, due to the snacks that I mentioned loving these enemies, the final section featuring Crash has more TNT enemies, having 3 required to be exploded before you are able to reach the end. Nitro Processing is a challenging but fair level, utilising all the skills you have learned so far. The only thing of note would be the Aku Aku damage boost required to save a box from destruction from this green slime enemy. Toxic Tunnels has no masks and is just pure platforming. There is a row of 8 TNT which need to be jumped on to cross this gap, and while this level is far from easy and you will die a lot, no further boxes need to be broken. This is it, the final proper level in Crash Bandicoot 4, Cortex Castle. This level is considered the hardest level in the game and requires mastery of all the quantum masks. Luckily, there are cutscene checkpoints throughout. No boxes are required to be broken up into the final area of the level. This is the final challenge. After killing Crash over and over and over again, you are prepared. Instead of explaining what to do, simply watch and enjoy. The final 9 boxes are added to our total. We defeat Cortex for one final time, and the challenge is complete. The minimum number of boxes to beat Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time is 341. This number could possibly be further optimized with glitches which I am not aware of, or playing on a different version of the game, but this amount is good enough for me. So until next time, good morning, good evening, goodbye.